You're on the home stretch. You're almost done. You've been fantastic. You've completed all the steps so far. I hope, especially the previous step, which is getting your forms, whether they're donation, revenue, or subscription or membership forms, updated on your website. And you're ready for the last step, importing your historical data. Let's check it out. The first step that I recommend is heading to our knowledge base because we've got lots of different articles that run through the importing process from start to finish. We've even got a specific section on it down here, up here, importing data. So as you can see, we've got lots of sections. We've got a whole section on just importing data into Keela. So the whole process is covered here. We've got some articles that run through how to export your data from other systems. So that might be useful there. If you've got another system, we sort of run through how you can do it for some that are available. We have some best practice guides down here. If you're really keen to learn, we've got some sort of information there and just some frequently asked questions over here. But like I said, you can just start with importing data. We've got an introduction to the import data process article, which has just some intro videos. If you've never had any experience with Excel before or with just data and cleaning up data, I recommend starting here. It can be a really nice introduction. But if you're feeling confident, or if you're one of those people like me who just wants to jump in and see what it's all about, you can also head straight to our formatting articles here. We recommend starting your import with contact data. So I'm going to start with the formatting your contact data article here. So definitely have a read of this one. This is going to be a really important resource for you. So we talk through how you can get started, as well as I've got a video here that runs through all the different components of formatting your data and some mistakes that I see made sometimes, with some tips and tricks accompanying it. So if you're really keen, feel free to watch that video, but otherwise all of the information that I cover in here is in this article. The most important part of this process is accepted fields. What this means is that Keela is built in a specific way. It has specific requirements, just like every other system. So all systems are different and they're all run in a different way. And these accepted fields are the types of fields that you can import into Keela. We've got things like full name. That's a really obvious one. So you can see the field name. And the description of that field, really clear. It's just a person's full name. Formatting notes, so notes on how this should be formatted. So really important to follow these to make sure that it's imported correctly. And if it's for an individual or a company. So a lot of the time it's for both, but sometimes it's only a company contact that can have that information. And then just an example of how it should be formatted. So these are all the fields that are available. And I think the easiest way to use these is to scroll down to the bottom of this article and see our Excel template. So we have an Excel template here that has all of those fields in it already. So you can sort of use this to build your contact data spreadsheet before you import it. And there's some handy little notes up the top. So enable editing, and you can view the little note to help you kind of make sure that you've got an idea of what it's for and notes on how to format it. So you can use that spreadsheet and this list to learn about the fields that are available. There's lots of other bits and pieces that we'd like you to check out, like the difference between an individual and a company record in Keela, how that works, how households work, tags, you'll remember from a previous session, talks about what tags are, but also shows you where you can jump to that video that I mentioned above to get an idea of how this will look if you're wanting to see it visually. Of course, if you've got fields that you want to import that aren't included in this accepted fields list, then no worries at all. You can add them as custom fields to your contact spreadsheet. So you may have already added your custom fields to your account as part of our customize step. That was our formatting your contact data spreadsheet, but there's also formatting articles for all of the other types of data that you can import into Keela. So we've got one for donation data, for example. And again, at the very bottom, you'll find templates that you can use to build your spreadsheet from, and there'll always be accepted fields that you can choose from in here. So for example, the accepted fields here are actually a little different. You've got your USA accepted fields, Canadian, and then Australia and New Zealand in here. So do make sure that you check out all of those articles if you're importing that specific type of data. When you're ready, head over to the importing your data article here and we'll talk through the importing process for you. But remember, before you do this, if you have a paid Keela subscription, you can always reach out to us at support@keela.com and we can review your data before you get started with this step. But if you have already gotten your review and it's been ticked off and passed the reviewing process, head over here and you'll get instructions on how you can start importing from your organization settings. One thing that's important to note about this is this process for import settings, where if you're importing contact data, you can choose how Keela will check for duplicates in your account. We've got some information on matching column fields and managing duplicates. So check this article out for an idea of how that importing process is going to go. The best advice that I have at this point is to just try it out. So maybe you want to, if you finish with your spreadsheet, you just might want to only import a couple of rows of data from it. So maybe you've got a spreadsheet of 50 contacts, perhaps you'd only like to import one or two, and then that way you can go in and look at how those contacts were imported and make sure that everything looks okay. You also get a feel of the process as well. And if you go to a contacts profile and something's looking a little off, something didn't match up correctly or hasn't worked, you can then go back to your spreadsheet, look at that column and compare it to our formatting articles to find out exactly what you need to change to make that formatting correct. But otherwise, once you finish this step, you are completely done. You are fully set up in Keela and you are ready to go, ready to start using the system to achieve all your goals and ultimate success. Thanks for joining me.